HBO Championship Boxing, under the promotion of Top Rank Incorporated in association with Budweiser, proud to be your bud. Matchmaker Bruce Trampler. Tonight's bouts are under the auspices of the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The chairman is Dr. Elias Granum and the attending executive director, Mark Ratner. Ring officials assigned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Your ringside physicians are Dr. James McLennan, Dr. Joseph Heflin, and Dr. John Wickman. Your timekeeper this evening is the sensational Steve Menzel. Counting for the knockdowns at the bell, the jolly one himself, John Rogers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Top Rank Incorporated, in association with Reno Sparks Convention and Visitors Association and Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers, presents HBO Sports main event of the evening, 12 rounds for the WBU Light Heavyweight Championship of the world. Ring officials assigned by the World Boxing Union, President John Robinson, Chairman Ed Levine, Supervisor in attendance, the dandy one Don Hazelton. Your judges at ringside are, from Carson City, Nevada, Keith McDonald, from Las Vegas, Nevada, John Rupert, and from Virginia City, Nevada, Doug Tucker. Your referee for this event, from Reno, Nevada, refereeing his 92nd World Championship fight, Mills Lane. Introducing now the principals. First, in the blue corner to my right, the challenger wearing the ice blue trunks, weighing in at 173 pounds. He is undefeated in 25 professional bouts. He has 18 wins by way of knockout. He hails from Chicago, Illinois, Montell Ice Griffin. His opponent in the red corner, wearing the dark gold trunks, weighing 175 pounds. His professional record, 53 victories, 2 defeats, 2 draws. He has 35 knockouts. He hails now from Las Vegas, Nevada, the WBU Light Heavyweight Champion of the world, James Lights Out Toney. 12 rounds for the WBU Light Heavyweight Championship of the world.
All right, gentlemen, we've always gone through the instructions of the dressing room one time. Protect yourself at all times. Any questions from the challenger? From the champion? Let's get it on.
Since 2 years ago, Griffin has added 2 years of important experience to a young fighter. Toney appears to me, at least, to be in better shape than he was the first time. Does this make for a better fight? We'll see.
Montell Griffin with an extremely unorthodox style. He'll duck to one side and then throw a punch with the other hand. He will eliminate the jab from his repertoire for long periods and try to lead with hooks. Then he comes back and starts over with the jab. James Toney starts out conventionally, but he can do it all. He can counter, he can lead, he's a hard puncher when he's right.
Something Toney is doing this time that he didn't do the last time. He's jabbing Montell to his body. The left hand is very effective to the stomach. Then he goes back on top.
So you'd like to see him starting out with that left jab to the body, and there it was.
Well, sometimes the fighter have to establish I can't touch you by going to the body. and he's waiting for Montell as though Montell has an equally long jab as his when he does not have to.
He doesn't. Griffin stepping in closer and pumping his jab twice in the closing rounds of the first fight. James Toney was trying hard to set up a big right hand, but never could land it. Griffin was elusive, and he uses that height to his advantage, George.
Very elusive. Toney in the last time around was trying to land 1 and 2 shots at a time. Now he knows that Montell can recover quickly, so keep winning round after round.
I have to believe, George, that the key for James Toney is the body punching. When he's been great in some of his major triumphs in the past, against Prince Charles Williams and against some of the other good fighters he's beaten, Michael Nunn, he was brutal to the body, and there's a good combo up top by Montell Griffin.
And this time around, Montell Griffin punches has a little more sting to them than the first round of the first fight. I like that, a little power this time. He's got to get Toney's respect.
Griffin likes to lean back and tempt you to come in. Then he tries to counter. Or lead like that.
That's something new that Toney has brought here. As Montell Griffin tends to spin out to his right, you saw Toney trying to nail him with the right as he turned.
As we go to the corners between rounds, you're looking at two corners loaded with boxing talent. In James Toney's corner, you have Miguel Diaz working with trainer Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. In Griffin's corner, the legendary Eddie Futch working with Bell Torrance, who will be training Riddick Bowe next Saturday night in Atlantic City. Those are four men deeply steeped in boxing knowledge.
Loosen up a little bit, a little tight. Use that jab, double it, feint and jab, double the jab. He's trying to counter on the jab now.
Get down. Who is it? All the way down.
Bend, go to the body, and turn with him, and dig that left hook. That's all you got to do. The jab is our key. Pump it all day, baby. They ain't used to that. Let him run and duck and dip. He got to fight. Keep that jab on him at all times. That's what's going to win us the fight. Easy. He don't want to fight. He don't want to fight. He don't want to fight. He don't want to do nothing.
James Toney following instructions from Eddie Mustafa Muhammad threw 38 jabs in round one and connected on 15 of them. That's the jab activity that Toney's corner wants to see throughout the fight. Good counter left hand by Griffin. Toney wobbles backward.
We've seen Toney do that before. He tends to square up a little bit and get off balance, but that was a legitimate punch.
No doubt about it. Griffith surprised him. Griffith somehow has come up with some power from somewhere.
Well, plus he hits you from those odd angles with punches that you don't always see coming, George.
Now, Toney is going to have to be consistent. Keep that jab going to the body.
Hard right hand by Toney.
Because Griffin is able to counter when you jab him because you're taller. He's accustomed to countering up high, but not to the body. And that's a hard thing for a young fighter to get hit hard and then go back to your original tactic of sticking with your tactic.
Toney beginning to revive the jab. Staying upstairs with the jab in this round. Now he goes back down to the body, and Griffin counters over it with a left hand. Montell Griffin throwing fewer punches than James Toney, but making his count. There's a wild miss.
Griffith this time is coming in to show him power. This time there's a lot of power in that left hook, and he understands if he steps to Toney's right a bit, Toney is defenseless. go on the left side of Toney, and he just doesn't seem to have any mobility.
So Griffin should move to his right or to his left?
Griffin should move to his right.
To his right. Beyond Toney's left hand.
Toney just doesn't seem to function on that left side.
And Toney a little slow there to remove himself from range, as Montell Griffin was able to get him with the second shot after missing the first.
Okay, that's one. Come on, let's go, come on.
Sometimes when you leave with a good hook like that, it tells you what this guy plans on doing all night. So
Time. You see how easy this is? You see how easy it is?
Hey, pump to him. You gotta give me some more jab. It's so easy. It's so easy. He want to turn you and spin you. He's a survivor now. All right, what I'm saying? You gotta pump some more jab. The right hand's gonna come. Get him used to the jab. Keep stepping in, hands up, James. And don't back.
Let's see that short punch that materialized when they were in close early in the round. Well, it was not a punch that landed very solidly. It looked like Toney was off balance after throwing punches of his own, and that Griffey just touched him and pushed him off balance. And yet something like that can influence the officials.
that's true.
But James Toney, a different fighter technically tonight than in the first fight. In the first fight, he averaged 16 attempted jabs per round. In the first 2 rounds of this fight, he's averaging 40. So he's more than doubled his jab output. And George, that's good for Toney, right?
I think that's good for any fighter who's want to really maintain. You're taller, use that jab. Whenever he throws that jab, there's no way he can be countered on top of it. He has the reach advantage.
Occupying Griffin with the jab much of the time. Go ahead, George.
Griffin, he gets low and he gives you the illusion that, hey, I can hit you, but if you stay your distance, he can't counter. You have the reach advantage. Take advantage of it.
Indeed. Most of Griffin's offense depends on you coming in at it.
He drops his hand. He gives you the illusion that I'll hit you if you miss. Believe me, he can't. You have to get to his range. Get a little closer so he's able to hit you. But whenever Griffin moves to his right, Toney has no defense for that move, for that step.
There it was. Griffin stepping around to James Toney's left side and firing a right hand over the top of Toney's left shoulder. Toney with nothing to offer in return. Trainer Eddie Futch said he wanted Montell Griffin to conduct this fight in wide circles around the outside of the ring. Keep moving James Toney laterally so that he can't set his feet.
And that's exactly what he should be doing now.
Another little counter left hand in there by Griffin. Toney acknowledged to us that in the first fight against Griffin, he had trouble setting his feet to try to land a right hand. Another balance lost by Toney.
He threw a good right hand and tried to jump back, but he almost fell backwards. It's only because Toney does not like to come back with his hook. After you throw that right hand, come back with a left hook. No knockdown. He's correct. Toney just does not want to get back with that left hook to get his position back.
Why is he having so much trouble with his balance, George? That's it?
Yeah, you got to come back with your left hook to get your balance back, and he's just sitting there right hand and nothing else.
Straight left hand lands for Griffin. James Toney seeming to have lost continuity here in the latter stages of round 3. Not quite sure what to do with Montell Griffin, who is hopping and scoring.